Let's be real. Artificial intelligence, or AI, it's everywhere, right? It's on the news, it's in our phones, it feels like it's the only thing anyone is talking about. But with all that hype, there's also a ton of confusion. So today, we're going to cut through the noise and demystify it, separating the science fiction from the tools you can actually use.
So let's just dive right in with the big one. What even is this thing we call AI? To answer that, you really have to get that the whole idea is way broader and honestly a lot older than you probably think. And that history is the key to understanding its power, its limits, and why it feels like it's suddenly taken over the world.
Okay, first things first. AI is not one single thing. It's a big umbrella term. You should think of it as a whole toolbox of different techniques that let computers do things we'd normally call smart. Like recognizing a face in a photo, understanding what you're saying, or even helping you write an email. And here's what's so fascinating. The very definition of AI is a moving target. I mean, think about it. Years ago, a really good spam filter was considered mind-blowing AI. Today, it's just a standard feature we expect in our inbox. What seems like total magic today, like generative art, often just becomes, well, software tomorrow.
So, to understand how we got to this moment, you've got to know that the story of AI isn't some straight upward line of progress. It's actually this really interesting cycle of big dreams, followed by quiet periods, and then, boom, sudden breakthroughs.
This pattern is absolutely key. The field has gone through what people call AI summers, which are full of excitement and funding, and then AI winters, where progress seems to stall and everybody gets skeptical. This has happened over and over and over again.
And you can really see that cycle right here. I mean, the term itself was born way back in 1956. Then look at that huge gap until 1997 when IBM's Deep Blue finally beat the world chess champion. But the acceleration lately is what's just wild. That 2017 invention of the transformer architecture, that is the direct ancestor of the tools we use today, like ChatGPT, which could just completely exploded onto the scene only 5 years later.
All right, so that brings us to today. We are clearly in the middle of a massive AI summer, and it comes with a whole new dictionary of terms. Let's quickly unpack the most important buzzwords so you know exactly what's going on.
The best way to think about this is like building blocks that stack on top of each other. The foundation is machine learning. That's all about teaching systems to find patterns in massive amounts of data. Then you have deep learning, which is like machine learning on steroids. It uses these really complex networks to find incredibly subtle patterns. And a large language model, or an LLM, that's just a very specific, very popular application of deep learning that's trained to understand and generate human-like text.
And all of this leads to the term you probably hear 100 times a day, generative AI. This is any AI that creates something totally new. So when you ask ChatGPT to write a song, or use a tool to generate a picture of an astronaut riding a horse on Mars, yep, you're using generative AI. It's generating new stuff based on all the patterns it's learned.
Now, this one sounds a little more technical, but trust me, it's incredibly important. It's called RAG. See, a huge weakness of these AI models is that their knowledge is stuck in the past. It's limited to whatever data they were trained on. RAG is a super clever fix for that. It basically allows the AI to look up current, factual information from a source you trust before it answers your question. Think of it as giving the AI an open book test instead of making it rely purely on memory.
And that whole idea of giving AI an open book brings us to a really crucial section, separating the incredible promise of this technology from the often messy reality of how it actually works today.
This right here is the central tension of AI today. On the one hand, its capabilities are amazing. It can spot patterns at a scale that no human ever could. It can draft, summarize, and help you code. But on the other hand, and it's so important to get this, it has no real common sense. It can confidently just make stuff up, what we call hallucinations, and its outputs can absorb and even amplify the biases from its training data. It's an incredibly powerful tool, but it is not a thinking being.
And if you take away just one single thing today, let it be this. When an LLM writes a sentence, it's not thinking about what it means. It's making a highly sophisticated statistical guess about which word should probably come next, based on the trillions of examples it's already seen. It is a pattern-matching machine on an unbelievable scale. Okay, so knowing all of that, the history, the buzzwords, the promise, and the very real pitfalls, what are we supposed to do with it? How can we actually use this technology wisely and effectively right now? Well, here's a simple 3-point playbook to get started. First, think of AI as your copilot, not the autopilot. Use it to augment your work, to help you brainstorm, to write a rough first draft, not to replace your judgment. Second, whenever you can, ground the model in facts. That's where techniques like RAG come in, to connect it to current data and reduce those made-up answers. And third, have a plan. From day one, you need to define what's an acceptable use and where you absolutely need a human in the loop, especially for high-risk stuff. You know, as this technology just continues to accelerate, the conversation is shifting. We have spent so much time asking what AI can do. But the more important question, the one we all have a stake in answering, is what do we want it to do? And ultimately, what do we want it to become? Now that's the question we're thinking about.